As lightweight mice continue to dominate the gaming market, SteelSeries is out with two new models to cater to the MMO and MOBA player base. Coming in at 74 grams and 89 grams respectively, the SteelSeries Aerox 5 wireless and Aerox 9 wireless blend lightweight performance with added utility thanks to additional buttons on the left side of the mice. And we've got both of them here in the studio, so let's dive in and take a closer look at the Aerox 5 wireless and the Aerox 9 wireless. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys. First off, getting these out of the box, obviously you get the mice. You do get a detachable cable. It's a USB-C cable. It's going to plug into the front of both of these mice. And you also get the little wireless 2.4 gigahertz dongle. And then you get a little USB-C to USB-C adapter, which is going to make it easier to plug in the dongle, but then also connect it to the mouse if you need to recharge it. And another thing to note here, these are 2.4 gigahertz wireless. Both mice also have Bluetooth built in, so a little bit more utility there. And both mice feature a honeycomb shell that inevitably aids in the lightweight design. That also means the RGB shines pretty brightly through the shell for those that want a little more color. To help protect that porous design, both mice also feature an IP54 rating, which is good for dust and splashing water. And first off, let's take a look at some of the unique features of the Aerox 5 wireless. Coming in at $140, the Aerox 5 wireless is aimed at MOBA and Battle Royale game types that typically have a few more abilities than like the standard FPS shooter. This mouse uses a 9-button design for a little more control. And while the controls look nearly identical to the wired Rival 5 from last year, SteelSeries has cut the cord and dropped the weight, both of which are great additions for a competitive gaming mouse. But if weight and budget are a big concern, they also have a wired version of this mouse, the Aerox 5, which comes in at 66 grams and just $80, so much more lightweight and also a lot more affordable. Up top are the standard mouse 1, mouse 2, clickable scroll wheel, and a DPI button. On the left are 5 additional buttons. There are the standard thumb buttons with a rocker button above them that can be pushed up or down for 2 additional inputs. And then further forward is a thumb button for a little bit more utility. And we have seen other mice that have a similar button like this kind of towards the front of the mouse, like the Razer Basilisk lineup, as well as the Logitech G502, to which SteelSeries directly compares the Aerox 5 wireless. And most of the buttons are, really easy to find. It's very comfortable for me. The thumb buttons are right where you would expect them to be. Just like some of the other mice, the thumb button that's towards the front, I do have to kind of move my thumb forward, which doesn't feel like a very natural motion to me. It's almost like it changes up my grip just a little bit. And maybe that's something that I would get used to. I just need to maybe pull the whole mouse a little bit further into my hand to get a little more used to it. But with the 1-3-1 grip style that I usually use, it's not the most natural thing for me to do. But obviously that's going to be different for everybody. There are other mice that feature this design with that button kind of further forward. And so if you have used a mouse like this and enjoy that button, then you'd probably like this as well. As far as measurements, the Aerox 5 wireless has a full-size design measuring at 125 millimeters long, roughly 63 millimeters wide at the grip right in the middle, and about 42 millimeters tall, which is right in line with the competition from Razer and Logitech. And the mouse fits comfortably in my hand with a slight ergonomic shell shape. Now, typically I play a lot of FPS games and I usually steer away from mice that have a lot of added buttons and extra buttons like this, mainly in the name of saving weight. But it's great to have a lighter weight wireless option here, if you do want that extra utility. So while I still typically prefer a lighter weight mouse like the glorious Model D wireless, I could see myself using this one if I did need a little bit more utility. But if 9 buttons just isn't enough, the Aerox 9 wireless has 18 programmable buttons on it. Coming in at $150, the 12 buttons on the left side are very similar to other MMO-oriented mice like the Naga Pro from Razer, but once again the SteelSeries comes in at 89 grams, which is much lighter than the 117 gram Razer. Otherwise, from the top, the Aerox 9 wireless looks nearly identical to the Aerox 5 wireless. The honeycomb shell cuts down on the weight, while also allowing more RGB to shine through. Up top, the Aerox 9 wireless has the standard mouse 1, mouse 2, and a DPI switch, but the scroll wheel can also be tilted left or right for 2 more additional customizable inputs. And if you've seen our review of the Razer Naga Pro, they did something really unique with this by being able to replace the panel on the left for different button layouts but SteelSeries has just opted to go with the 12-button design, and that's kind of the most standard design for a MMO-style mouse. And then they've just tried to reduce the weight as much as possible. And while I don't really have much use for a mouse with 18 programmable buttons on it, right now at least, they've made it much lighter than the competition, which, in my opinion, is one of the downsides of mice with more standard buttons. Razer does carry the wired Razer Naga X that comes in at 85 grams and features 15 programmable buttons, but if wireless and lightweight are top features on your wish list, then the SteelSeries Aerox 9 wireless ticks both of those boxes. And moving on to some similarities between the mice, they both feature large PTFE glide skates on bottom, the 18,000 CPI TrueMove Air sensor, and an estimated 180-hour battery life. And that TrueMove Air sensor is the same that we've found on the Prime lineup of mice from SteelSeries and tracks really well in my experience. Within the SteelSeries Engine app, there are options for changing polling rate, acceleration, angle snapping, and enabling a high efficiency mode to help save battery life even more. For switches, SteelSeries is using TTC Gold micro switches that are rated to 80 million clicks, and while not as satisfying as the ultra clicky Prime mice, they feel good and perform well in my experience. Mouse clicks are short and easy to actuate. And the buttons feel pretty solid for the most part, but there was a little bit more wiggle on the Aerox 9 wireless mouse 1 button that didn't feel as tight as the Aerox 5 wireless. I'll show it here, but there is quite a bit of wiggle back and forth when you try to push it down and push left and right. The cable has a braided design and works well for low drag, but it's not the most flexible compared to, something like the Ascended cable from Glorious or even some of Razer's cables as well. It's not terrible for gaming, but it is a little more noticeable than some other competitors. Build quality on the mice seems pretty solid. I'll get it here and just kind of push on it, in different directions. And we can't really hear much of a creak. The honeycomb shell, while it looks, porous and looks like it might be fragile, I think it actually helps kind of with that structural rigidity to make it a pretty strong feeling mouse. And here we'll also play around with the Aerox 5 wireless. There's maybe a little bit more creak in this shell, in this mouse. But overall, for the most part, I think both of them sound and feel pretty solid. And here we'll do a quick sound test of both mice just so you can hear how they sound. So overall, wrapping up here, MOBA and MMO-oriented mice might be pretty unique in the gaming space, but having the added functionality can also play into productivity setups as well. And with both the Aerox 5 wireless and the Aerox 9 wireless, SteelSeries has two great hits. If you've been looking for a lightweight wireless mouse with added functionality, if you need 9 buttons or if you need 18 buttons, I think that these are going to be great performing mice for you. Alright, and that's going to do it for our review of the Aerox 5 wireless and the Aerox 9 wireless from SteelSeries. Let us know what you think about them down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link to the Razer Naga Pro review as well as our most recent video. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.